I got brought into the project when the family had just moved out to do a complete interior renovation. And while they were renting an Airbnb while the inside was being completed, we were working on the backyard, side yard, and front yard landscape design. When I first saw the site, they had a small sitting area in the back. The shed was existing. There was a lot of overgrown gardens, and to get to the main entrance off their driveway, which is actually at the side of the house, they had to go through a gate and then get to the door. So it was very closed in on the side.
The exterior, it's a classic home. It needed some love though. It was all white mixed with the red brick, so it was just a little bit cold feeling, and we wanted to warm that up. The colors that we chose for the exterior are sort of a taupey gray. I wanted it to be really soft and not too striking because we were keeping the windows white. So we decided to just have a subtle change to the color on the fascia soffit eaves.
We did a new walkway. I also did a little area where we could put a bench. Because they have a young son, we wanted to have a place where they could potentially sit and watch him ride his bike up and down the sidewalk, do some sidewalk chalk. And then we just did some very simple gardens, new sod, so just cleaned it up. When it came to designing the side yard, Mark really wanted it more open. So we made a little sitting area with just some simple pea stone and just 2 chairs where they could sit there and watch people go by or just feel like they're part of the neighborhood. We did open up the fence so that the access to the side door, which they use all the time as a family, was more open and not enclosed with the fence anymore. I wanted to make it usable space because it is kind of at the side of the house. So I made it into a little courtyard, which they really liked. And we put the barbecue there and a small table. So if Mark or Liz are barbecuing, they can talk to friends or family or whoever's visiting. And then you come around the side of the house into the backyard where the main patio is. And back there we did a lounge area with a fire table and a dining table. They didn't need a huge dining space, so we left the dining area fairly small. I chose to use flagstone here because the house is more traditional, so flagstone tends to be a little bit more of a natural look as opposed to a super clean modern look. We did use the square cut flagstone, which does lend itself to that modern feel, but the natural flagstone has a little bit more of that traditional feel. The neighbor's garage is also kind of part of their backyard, so we did a row of hornbeams along there just to cover and camouflage the garage. We also did a new fence around the property. Mark, again, wanted that open feeling so he didn't feel like he was disconnected from the neighborhood. And Liz wanted something where she had privacy. So we compromised on the horizontal fence, but made the gaps at the top of the fence wider and the gaps at the bottom part of the fence closer together. So they had that feeling of they could see out a little bit and that feeling of being part of the neighborhood. The garden is predominantly shade, so we again went with shade planting. So we did the oak leaf hydrangeas, we did some boxwoods, we did some hostas and ferns, and along the back of the house we did some astilbe for some color. And we also did mass plantings just to bring a little bit of that more modern feel to the garden. The garden's only a year old, so in another couple of years it will be a very full garden, and with that comes low maintenance. Around the patio, I always like to do some plantings that kind of cozy up the space and make it feel like you're in a room. So we did some fountain grasses, which will eventually be really full and kind of soften the edge of the patio.